Television.
Now, just over a year ago, Jack Savoretti came close to quitting music altogether because he'd become disillusioned with the industry, but he's back and his third album is Before the Storm.
He's been on a UK tour, he's recorded a song with Sienna Miller, performed with Jules Holland at the Royal Albert Hall and made an appearance with the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
And he joins us in the studio now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm going to talk to you about all of those experiences in just a moment. First, let's have a little listen to how you sound. Here we go.
I'm sick and tired of getting older. I keep getting lost trying to find my way. I'm looking for love at every corner. Nobody knows, nobody cares whether you live or love in vain. Nobody knows, nobody cares from where you came. Life's little game. Changes, all of these changes.
Oh, lovely stuff. Well, it's unconscionable, the thought that you might have just given it all up.
Yeah, but it's a strange business. You see, I kind of saw the good, the bad, the ugly, and the irony about songwriting is that it's kind of an empowering freedom, that it's your own. It's your own. Nobody can touch it until you start making a living out of it, and then you're suddenly giving it to people that have the right to say whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. And the irony is that that kind of fuels your anger to go away and write another album, and then you get caught in this vicious cycle, and you just keep making records.
So you were writing sort of angry
Not angry,
music.
But it kind of stimulates this need to be heard or need to say something, and need to also just something that's yours, something to own something. And I think that's kind of what it's all about when you're writing something.
Yours is a very interesting background because when I listened to the music, I thought you must be American, and because it has a sort of a very country feel to it, and yet you're not.
I'm not, but some of the great, country singers. One of my favorite singer-songwriters from the States is a guy named Jim Croce, and he was of Italian origin. So I think the kind of country music you hear is folk music, and folk-inspired music that comes from all over the world. I've grown up in America, I've grown up in Europe, and I kind of like to take as much as I can from wherever I've been, and country seems to be.
You didn't go to Nashville to record this album, you went to Abbey Road.
We were in Abbey Road, we were in London all over the place, but we finished it off in Abbey Road, which was always a good place.
Obviously, presumably, everybody who records there feels a certain something, do they?
You can smell music. I know that sounds weird, but literally you walk in and there's just something in the air. I mean, the main corridors are now pretty functional and commercial, but you walk into Studio 1 and Studio 2 and you get a little tingle.
Do you have to have your photograph taken on the zebra crossing?
No, I didn't do that. There's so many people doing it, you got to queue up to do it. I'm surprised they don't sort of charge to do
appointments.
it.
Yeah. So you were in this place where you felt it was tricky, the music industry, the bosses, whoever, were kind of pressurizing you. How then did you feel that you could emerge from that and produce the beautiful music, which is on the album? The album released last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was released at the end of the summer, and it kind of came from meeting new people. I met the guys who play with me, a band called the Dirty Romantics, who have changed the way I approach music, have changed the way I play music, have changed the way I want to perform it and be on the road more often. And also everybody else I work with has changed, and I've just been fortunate to kind of, I've been doing this for 7 years now, kind of doing music, and I got the opportunity to work with everybody along the way that I've met, that I admire. Everybody kind of agreed to it at the same time, and everybody was free, and so we did it.
Well, you raised an interesting point there. There is this tension a lot of the time between the artist being the person that they want to be and the record company, which is publishing their music, which needs to make money and thinks oftentimes it knows a better way to do it.
And sometimes they do, I'm not arguing that. Most of the time I think the artist knows what the artist is. If you want to know, how to sell an artist, ask the artist is kind of the first thing. But it's more also, as an artist, knowing who you are, what is your sound, what do you want to do, what do you write, and sometimes, it's not the first time, the first song you write is probably not going to define you as a songwriter, the first painting you paint isn't going to define you as a painter. So it is a bit of that trial and error, and it's more than people that are right or wrong, it's working with people that are in it for the ride. It's a long ride. I mean, you don't do this for a couple of years. This is what you do. And so either people are in it for the long run or there's no point being in it.
Well, tell us about some of the people you've worked with. Jules Holland.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Sienna Miller.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's been a busy year.
Shall we start with Jules?
Yeah, Jules was amazing. We were invited to do his tour just before Christmas. And I mean, his whole crew and his whole band, every night was a bit of an education for all of us.
I bet he smells of music, doesn't he?
He smells good. Good music. He smells of really good music.
I wonder where you're going with that.
It's a weird way to put it, but yeah, he does smell of good music. He's incredible. I've never seen anybody play the piano like him. So that was inspiring, and we got to play the Royal Albert Hall, which was, you know, me and the boys from the band, we literally the next day we said, I think we can kind of, you know, that's, it ain't
you can
gonna
retire
get,
now.
we can retire now.
You saw Sienna Miller singing, is that right?
I saw her at the Groucho Club. It was a Burns evening, and she was doing Nancy Sinatra at these boots, a cappella. She was just singing it. She just sang it to a room of about 100 people. And I thought, first of all, wow, for the courage to get up and just sing it with no mic, no music. But she was really good. Anyway, we became friends, and I had this duet that I really wanted to have, that guy-girl old-school duet, not a collaboration, like a duet. Two people speaking to each other and showing the fine line between how you both thinking the same thing but doing the wrong thing. And she was up for it. She came into the studio, and in a matter of sort of 1 hour, she got it.
So Jules, Sienna, Bruce.
Well, Bruce, I played at the Hard Rock Calling Festival, and the boss was on. So that was pretty special. We got to meet him and his band and see the whole crew. And John Fogerty was playing while we were playing. So it was a good weekend out in Hyde Park.
Country roots. I mean, John Fogerty on his own was called Creedence Clearwater Revival.
One of my favorite bands. So that was a pretty special. But seeing the boss, and it was the night Paul McCartney came on and they pulled the plug on.
I was going to say, it was the one where they had to turn it off.
We were there that night and we were screaming. We were as angry as everybody else.
They threw everybody out. Was it 11 o'clock?
They had played, to be fair, for 3 hours. Yeah. But I can't say how it felt like it was the first song. Every song felt like the first song. Yeah. It was an amazing night. So yeah, it was good.
Good place to learn. Jack, thanks very much.
Well, we're not putting the plug on you yet because you're performing live for us at the end of the programme.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
So we'll look forward to that. Jack Savoretti's new album, Before the Storm, is out at the moment. And what are you going to be playing?
We're going to be playing a new single, which is called Not Worthy.
Not Worthy.